Right, good morning everyone, welcome to CrosseMaths live lesson. Today's year 9. Okay, when you're ready, when you're tuned in, okay, make a start at the starter in front of you. Okay, make sure you've got pen, comments off. Make sure you got everything ready. Make a start what's in front of you. Remember, it's important to do these things repeatedly in order. Sorry, I'm just battling the puppy at the moment for a box. It's important to do these things repeatedly in order to get really good at them, okay? Because these are the key topics you need for year 9. Okay, what I'd like you to do, guys, make a start at what's in front of you. I'll give you 5 minutes to get that done. Right, guys, last 3 minutes. Try and get all of them done. If you get every section done, that's brill. Bottom right hand corner says divide and bottom left says times. Okay, just so you're clear on those ones. Last minute or so, guys. See if you can get them all done. I'm teaching. Shush. Right guys, finish off whatever one you're on. Right then, so little bit of dividing first, 2 points, okay? Set up your division exactly as you would normally, okay? 1161 divided by 9. 9 doesn't go into 1, so I put 0 up top, carry the 1 over. 9 goes into 11 once, remainder 2. 9 goes into 26 twice, remainder 8. And 9 goes into 81 9 times. Okay, so you should end up with 129 as an answer. 2 points for the first one. Next, got a little bit of basic adding, okay? Set up your column properly. Remember, everything has got to hug the right-hand side. So I've got 3826, add 239, making sure everything hugs the right-hand side. If there are any gaps, fill them in with a 0. 6 plus 9 is 15. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 6. 2 plus 8 is 10. And 1 plus 3 plus 0 is 4. So my answer is 4065. That's 1 point. 72 times 28, use whatever method you like, okay? Loads of people use grid, I know that. Okay, grid or, let me draw that a little bit smaller. Grid or Chinese method works the best, I think. Okay, but again, use whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just going to change the colour. 72 times 28. 2 times 7 gives me 14. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 8 is 16, and 8 times 7 is 56. Once you're there, just going to add up our slides, okay? So I've got a 6 in the first one, then I've got a 6, a 4, and a 1, which is 11, then a 1, a 5, and a 4, which is 10, and a 1 and a 1, which makes 2. So my answer is 2016. Three points for that one. But underneath that, we've got a bit of solving equations, okay? I'm going to take away 9 from both sides. 3x moves straight down. 9 plus 9 minus 9 makes nothing. 48 plus take away 9 is 39. Divide by 3 now. If I divide by 3, I end up with x equals 39 divided by 3 is 13. 3 points. 9.6 take away 4.9. Again, make sure you line your decimal points up correctly. Okay, you're probably going to have to borrow with these takeaway questions, okay? 6 take away 9, I can't do it. Okay, so I am going to borrow. I'm going to turn the 9 into an 8. Give 1 to the 6 to make it into 16. 16 take away 9 is 7. 8 take away 4 is 4. So my answer is 4.7, 2 points. Simplifying again, I like to put shapes around them. It's up to you what you do. Okay, I like to do shapes. I'm going to put a rectangle around the x, a rectangle around anything else that has an x in it, and then I'm going to put an oval around the other two y's. Once I'm there now, if I just focus on the x's, I got x take away 7x, so 1 take away 7 is minus 6x, and then I got minus 4y plus 1y. Minus 4 plus 1 is negative 3y. So minus 6x, take away 3y for 1 point. 5 over 6 times 2 over 3. Remember, we did these last week, okay? This was last week's Year 9 lesson. Times the top times the bottom. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 3 is 18. 10 over 18, if I half them both, I end up with 5 over 9. And I don't think it gets any simpler than that. 1 point for that one. In the middle, share £72 in the ratio 4 to 5. Add your shares at first. So 4 plus 5 gives me 9 shares. 9 shares altogether. You divide the amount of money by the number of shares you got because you want to work out what 1 share is worth. 72 divided by 9 is 8. So every single share is worth £8. Then I got one person and another person. I need 4 lots of 8 for the left-hand person, which is 32. And the right-hand person is 5 lots of 8, which makes 40. Job done. 3 points for that one. Very last one. Okay, we got a bit of dividing, okay? So don't worry if you couldn't see that it was dividing. You might have thought it was add. That's okay. Okay, if I'm dividing, I've got to do keep, change, flip. I keep the left-hand one the same. I change the middle bit to a times, and I flip that upside down to make it 3 over 2. Once I'm there, exactly the same as the one on the bottom left-hand side. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 2 is 12. That simplifies to 1 over 4 if you divide top and bottom by 3. Okay, that's worth 2 points. Guys, add them up. See what you got out of 18. Again, this is basically your fundamental knowledge you need for year 9. So if you've got all that nailed, you're going to be really successful in year 9. If you haven't got all of those nailed, it's worth practicing the 1 or 2 topics on Hegarty Maths. So, right, so moving on today, we're just going to do a bit of decimal work, okay? If you do get this, it's good practice, okay? So don't worry if you do understand it, okay? We'll start easy and we're going to try and fly through everything to do with decimals. Now, first I got 23.4, add 15.9. 23.4, 15.9, added. 4 plus 9 is, I'm going to do this in a different colour. 4 plus 9 is 13. 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9. 2 plus 1 is 3. Decimal point goes in the middle, so 39.3. Next one, I got 16.3, take away 2.84. Again, make sure you line up the decimal points. And if you've got any gaps, fill them in with zeros. Okay, once I'm there, I'm going to change the colour. Okay, 0 take away 4, I can't do it, so I'm going to have to borrow from this 3. I'm going to turn that into a 2, turn this into a 10. 10 take away 4 is 6. 2 take away 8, I can't do it, so I'm going to borrow, turn that into a 5, turn that into a 12. 12 take away 8 is 4. Decimal point goes straight down. 5 take away 2 is 3. 1 take away 0 is 1. So my answer is 13.46. Can you have a go at some of the questions over here, please? I'll give you 1 minute to get your examples down on the left and have a go at the questions on the right-hand side. Again, we will be moving on quickly today, so if you do understand lots of this, that's okay. Doesn't matter. Okay, we're going to be moving on very, very quickly. Right, guys, finish off the one you're on. Right, cool. So 5 plus 6 is 11. Cut 1 by there, carry the 1 over. 4 plus 3 plus 1 is 8. Decimal point moves straight down. 3 plus 2, is 5. 58.1. Okay, underneath, again, similar stuff. We got to make sure we line the decimal points there correctly. I've got 34.3. Take away 5.63. Again, any gaps, just fill them in with 0. Okay, 0 take away 3, I can't do it, so I'm going to turn that into a 2, turn that into a 10. 10 take away 3 is 7. 2 take away 6, can't do that either. 12 take away 6 is 6. Decimal point was straight down. 3 take away 5, can't do that either. 13 take away 5 is 8. 2 take away 0 is 2. So, 28.67. Guys, mark what you've done. If you get that, brill. Okay, if you don't quite get it yet, remember, I'm going to give you more time to practice now. 28.67. Right, guys, have a go at some of those for me, please. If you finish both, that's amazing. Okay, you really understand this. Have a go at those. I'm going to put the answers up in a sec. Maybe do a couple from the top and a couple from the bottom. It doesn't really matter. Give you about 2 minutes to get as much of that done as you can. Last 30 seconds. Right, guys, so mark what have you done so far for me, please. If you got most of them or all of them right, okay, you really get this topic and we can kind of move on deeper into decimals, some of the harder stuff. Okay, make sure everything you've done is marked so I know and you know whether you're right or not. Right then, so bit of multiplying, okay? There's two different ways, okay, you can multiply. You could have really small numbers like 0.5 and 0.9, or you could have quite big numbers like 3.5 and 6.5. Okay, it doesn't really matter. You can have a bit of both, okay? 0.5 and 0.9. What I want you to do is imagine the decimal points aren't there. I'm going to do 5 times 9. 5 times 9 gives me 45. Now, if I look back to my question, I've got 2 numbers after my decimal point. So I've got to go back to my answer and count back 1, 2, and put a decimal point in. If it's a decimal point, it's got to be 0 before it. So my answer is 0.45. That's if you've got really small numbers. If you've got numbers that are slightly bigger, okay, they're essentially 2 by 2 digit numbers, okay, I got to use a method. It's up to you which method you use. Again, you know this already. I like this method, the Chinese grid method. Okay, it's up to you how you do it. Okay, what I'm going to do, before I even start this question, I'm going to do this as if the decimal points weren't there. So I'm going to do 35 times 65, just as I did in the starter. 3 times 6 is 18. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, once I'm there, I'm going to add up my slides. 5 in the first one. Then I've got a 0, a 2, and a 5, which is 7. And I got a 1, a 3, and an 8, which is 12. And a 1 and 1, which makes 2. So, once I'm there, I've got 2275. Now, there's 2 ways that I could do this, okay? My answer is 2275, okay? So, what I could do is I could follow using my grid. So, I'm going to do that one first. I'm going to do that way first of all. What you do, you put your decimal points back in there. Okay, my decimal points are back in, and then you follow them along to see where they meet. Okay, they meet in the middle, and then what you do is you follow that line straight down, okay, and wherever it ends up, that's where your decimal point goes. So it ends up by there, so my answer is 22.75. The other way you could do it, okay, if you look back at exactly the same as you did in part 1, if you've done grid method, obviously this is the way you do it. I got 3.5 and 6.5, that's 2 numbers after the decimal point. So I'd have to go back to my answer and count back 1, 2, and put a decimal point in. Those are the 2 ways that you can do multiplying decimals. Okay, guys, you've got those 2 down. Have a go at these ones over here for me. I'm going to give you 1 minute to get the examples down and have a go at the ones on the right hand side. Ten seconds, guys. Right then, so on this one, exactly the same as you did over there. Again, if you're still finishing off, don't worry, just ignore me. Okay, I've got 0.6 times 0.7. I'm going to do 6 times 7, which gives me 42. Then I know I've got 2 numbers in after my decimal point in the question. So I'm going to come back 1, 2, and put a decimal point in my answer. 0 always comes before the decimal point, so 0.42. Okay, and then underneath I draw my grid out again, 2.7 times 92. So I'm going to do 27 times 92. I've got 2 times 9, which is 18. 7 times 9, which is 63. 2 times 2, which is 4. And 7 times 2, which is 14. Now, if I add those up, I get 4. 4, 3 and 1, which is 8. 8 and 6, which is 14. And 1 and 1, which is 2. So my answer is 2484. And then I'm going to put my decimal point back. You can either put it back. You can either look back at the question and look, there's 2 numbers after the decimal point. So I'm going to count back 1, 2 and put it between the 4 and the 8. Or I can follow along and follow down. Decimal point's going to go in there. So my answer is 24.84. Guys, if you got that right, that's amazing. If you didn't manage to get it right, don't worry. Okay, you can get it down either now or at the end of the session. You will get it right eventually, I promise. Right, guys, so what I'd like you to do, have a go at some of those for me, please. I have only put the difficult ones on this one, so I haven't included any of the easy ones. Okay, have a go at these. Again, I will start and help you in some of the gaps by here if you're struggling, okay? Right, guys, those that are feeling confident, you just carry on. Anyone that's struggling on question 1, I'm going to start going through it now. My dog will just stop scratching her ear. Stop it. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Now once you're there, same as I did earlier on, I got 2 in the first slide, I got 7, got 6 and a 0, so I got 672. I've got 2 numbers after the decimal point in the question, so I'm going to come back 1, 2, put a decimal point in my answer. My answer is 6.72. Three minutes, guys. Get as many of those done as you possibly can. Last minute, guys. Right then, so have a look what you got, have a look what I got, have a look if you're right. Okay, I haven't put the workings out down, but you should get a good idea of whether you're right or wrong. If you're getting the multiplication right, but you're getting a point to the decimal point right, that's okay. Okay, because that means you understand how to multiply, just you haven't quite got the skill of putting the decimal point in the right place, and that's all right. Okay, can you make sure that everything you've done so far is marked for me? Right then, cool. So, very last thing, okay? So, I've got dividing by decimals. Now, this is something that people find really difficult, okay? It's really easy, only because all you've got to make sure of is if you don't like this by here, and it doesn't look like a nice set of decimals, I've got to make sure this number on the right-hand side is a single-digit number. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to have to times both sides by 10. If I times both of these by 10, I end up with 36 divided by 9. And now with dividing, if you times both sides by the same thing, it actually gives you the same answer. As long as you times both sides by exactly the same thing, it'll always give you the same answer. So 3.6 divided by 0.9 is the same as 36 divided by 9. And I know 36 divided by 9 is 4, because 36 is the fourth number in a 9 times table. Once we're here, okay, I'm going to try to do exactly the same thing as I just did. I'm going to times by 10, see if it makes the numbers any nicer. Times by 10, I get 125 divided by 0.5. Okay, still not quite nice. Okay, I still don't like that. So I'm going to times by 10 again. I end up with 1250 divided by 5. Now that's okay, I can do that. Okay, I understand how to do that, that's fine. I'm going to do the workings out underneath. Okay, I go 1250 divided by 5. Okay, 5 doesn't go into 1. 5 goes into 12, twice remain to 2, goes into 25, 5 times goes into 0, 0 times. So my answer is 250. Okay, very straightforward dividing by decimals. What I'd like you to do, have a go at that for me. Okay, the ones on the right hand side. Get the example done, have a go at the ones on the right hand side. We're covering a lot today, so I want to get through as much as I possibly can. Right, so finish off the one you're on for me. Right, so I'm going to, first things first, I don't like this one, so I'm going to times both sides by 10. Again, you're focusing on the right-hand number. If that's a number you don't like, and you want to make it single digit, you've got to times them by 10. I end up with 42 divided by 6, very, very easy. 42 divided by 6 is just 7. Okay, same thing underneath. Okay, I times it by 10. We end up with 169 divided by 1.3. Okay, that's still not a number I like. Okay, so I'm going to times it by 10 again. 1690 divided by 13. Now that's not a single digit number, however I can divide by 13, I can do that. Okay, so I'm going to set my bus stopper. 1690. Okay, 13 doesn't go into 1, it goes into 16 once, remain to 3, goes into 39 3 times, and goes into 0 0 times. So my answer, 1690 divided by 13, is 130. Okay, this is very straightforward. Okay, you just got to keep timesing them both by 10 until the number on the right hand side is something you like. Okay, get those marked for me. Make sure the left hand side is written down and what you've done so far has been marked. Right guys, we're not going to do any questions on those just because of time. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'd like you to have a go at a bit of problem solving. Okay, 144 small glass tiles cover a square that is 60 by 60. Okay, how many small glass tiles will cover a rectangle that's 120 by 90 centimeters? How many glass tiles will that be? A bit of problem solving. Have a real hard think. You can use a calculator if you want to. Okay, if you want to use a calculator, please do. Okay, you don't have to. It's not necessary, but you can if you want to. Last minute on this, guys. Right then, so, okay, very, very straightforward question, okay? It's a bit of a trick question, but take your time with it. This is 144 glass tiles. That would have to mean, for these two sides, because they're the same length, the times together to make 144, there would have to be 12 tiles going this way, and 12 tiles going that way. So it'd have to be a 12 by 12 square, okay? Because we know that, I know the width of one tile is 5 centimeters, because 60 divided by 12 is 5, so each tile, one tile, is 5 by 5 centimeters. Okay, now if one tile is 5 by 5 centimeters and we've got a new shape of 120 by 90, okay, I've got to do 120 divided by 5, which gives me 24. It's going to be 24 centimeters. It's going to be 24 tiles, the new shape, by 90 divided by 5, which gives me 18. Okay, so my new shape is going to be 24 times 18. That's how many tiles it's going to be. I'm going to do a little bit of working out over here. We've done multiplying to death today, okay? So I'm going to do a little bit of multiplying. I got 24 times 18. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 1 is 4. 8 times 2 is 16. And 4 times 8 is 32. I've got a 2, a 13, a 4, and nothing. So my answer is 432 glass tiles altogether. Guys, if you got that, that's really, really good. That's not an easy question at all. So if you did get that, I'm really, really impressed. Get that marked for me. Last thing we do, we're just going to do a little bit of a summary on everything we've done today. If you get four out of 4 on this one, you've absolutely mastered multiplying and dividing and adding and subtracting decimals. Last minute on this, guys. See if you can get all 4 done. Right, guys, so if you haven't finished already, well done to those that have stuck with the whole session. As today we've got through loads, okay? We've probably gotten through 4 maths lessons work in 1 hour. Okay, so I'm really proud of all of you. Okay, I'm just going to go through these real quick, mark them each one. Okay, if you got them all right, you have absolutely mastered decimals, okay? So we've got 9.3 plus 3.42. Any gaps you fill in with a 0. 2 plus 0 is 2. 3 plus 4 is 7. Decimal point moves straight down, and 9 plus 3 is 12. So 12.72. Okay, next one. I'm just going to change my colour each time just so you can see the difference. I got 5.83. Oh, I'm doing it in lines. I don't want to do that. I want to do it with a pen. 5.83. Take away 2.9. Again, I'm going to put a 0 on the end just because it should be there. 3 take away 0 is 3. 8 take away 9, I can't do it. So I'm going to change that to a 4. Turn that to an 18. 18 take away 9 is 9. Decimal point moves straight down. 4 take away 2 is 2. Very straightforward. The times in one, this is going to be a little bit cramped. Okay, so bear with me. 2.93 for that one. Okay, it's going to be a little bit cramped, so you'll have to bear with. Okay, I got 34 3.4 times 5.8, but I'm going to put it as 34 times by 58, just because it helps my workings out. Three times 5 is 15, 4 times 5 is 20, 4 times 8 is 32, and 3 times 8 is 24. 2 moves straight down, 4, 3 and 0 moves straight down to make a 7, 2, 2 and 5 makes a 9, and 1 goes in by there. Okay, remember, okay, you can either look back at your question, I've got 1, 2 numbers after the decimal point, so I count back 1, 2, my decimal point in, or I can follow along. It's totally up to you. Okay, very last one, guys. Well done for those who stuck with us so far. This one, okay, I want to make this right-hand one into a single-digit number. Okay, you can times by 10 twice, or you can times both sides by 100 to do it a little bit faster. I end up with 420 divided by 2. I can essentially do that one in my head. 420 divided by 2 gives me 210. Guys, if you got all 4 of those right, well done. I am super, super proud of you. If you got some of them right, but you still need to work on certain bits, that's okay. We've gotten through 4 lessons work in 1 hour, guys. So well done for sticking with it. And I'm really proud of all your hard work.